Pad or on a computer, you can go to just go to Google and Google GeoGebra geometry. Go ahead and hit enter. First link will take you to this. Click on it, and you'll see this kind of interface. You can come over here and hit more, and then we can do all sorts of things with GeoGebra. And maybe at this point we already have in class. Let's go ahead and make, I don't know, 2 points. And actually, let's make another point. So I'm just clicking point. Let's make a line. Let's make the line through AB. And now let's do a construction. So I'm going to move down here and I want to construct a parallel line. So if I click parallel line at the bottom here, it's going to say select a point and a parallel line. So click the point and then click the line and it'll draw a line through C that is parallel to AB. Okay, that's kind of cool. So I now know those are parallel. Let's click a point here, and let's make the line CD, and let's click a point, and let's highlight the intersection E. Okay, let's click a couple more points, maybe down here, so we have some reference things. Okay, so we have all sorts of points here. So we can move things. I can move that F if I wanted to, all along that line. I can move H. Okay, constructing. We could construct a perpendicular line. Nah, let's not do that. An angle bisector. We could. That's easy. It's probably just say select 3 points. So I can go E, D, B, and then I constructed the angle bisector that bisected the angle DEB. But then also AEI. So let's hit the back because I don't really want that in there. Okay. Let's really do what I wanted to, and let's measure some angles. Okay, so I'm going to measure. It says select 3 points or 2 lines. So I'm going to select D, E, B, and it gives that to you, but I hate how it does that. So I'm going to grab that with the move, and I'm going to move it up. And I'm going to measure a whole bunch of other angles. How about I, C, F? And you're like, wait a second. Those are corresponding angles. You can see that they are congruent. Well, of course they are. We already learned about that. And I can even move D. And you're like, oh, no matter what it is, those angles are always congruent, right? Corresponding angles are congruent if and only if the lines are parallel, right? Line AB and line GF. Okay, so what if I didn't want that angle? I wonder if I can, oh, no, that's not what I want to do. Well, that's okay. We'll do it real quick. So let's make another line. See, okay. And we want to do some more, let's do some points again. Man, that deleted a lot of things. Okay, so now let's measure DEH. And we'll move it over here. And then what else we want to measure? Well, let's measure alternate exterior to DEH. And let's measure GCI. And again, you can see that these alternate exteriors are congruent, which is what we said, right? Move it along, no matter what, those are going to be congruent. Okay, and I think if I just maybe go back a couple steps, there we go. We can move that back. Okay, so we did corresponding. We did, how about alternate exterior? Alternate, we can't really do that. Let's measure, how about HEC and get 119. Oh, look at that. They're supplements to each other. Of course they are. They're linear pairs. And then we can measure angle ECF, and we can get consecutive interiors are supplements to each other. And we can say corresponding. Okay, and then the last one, of course, we can measure GCE, and we'll get alternate interiors. Again, if you just look at this one picture, we can say the 61 and 61 are corresponding, congruent. The 119 and the 61 consecutive interiors are supplements. And then we can say the 119 and the 119 are alternate interiors, congruent. And then I did erase the one, but we can measure it again. And then we have this guy, this 61, GCI and DEH, this 61 and this 61 are alternate exteriors, and they're congruent. And again, all of this is based on the fact that we have parallel lines. I can move it however you want. Doesn't matter which one's bigger or smaller. I'm always going to have that relationship where corresponding are congruent, alternate interior congruent, alternate exterior congruent, and consecutive interior are supplements. Now, if I draw a line that's, if I could somehow move G and F and not make it parallel, and I don't think I can move F this way, and that I can only move it along the line because I told the computer, or I told Geogebra, to make it parallel to begin with. So if I start it all over, so let's leave page and start it all over. Now, if I made a line, and I made another line, and they aren't parallel, of course, right? Then, if I wanted to measure angles, of course, well, maybe put a couple more points on there. Boom, boom. Okay, good. Let's measure E, A, F, and A, E, T. Now, those two are not congruent, right? Right? They're corresponding. They're both on the top right, but they're not congruent unless I make D at the perfect angle. Really, really, really. I won't even. Oh. Boom. Now, based on the fact that these two are congruent, I now know that BEF and line CD are actually parallel to each other because I have corresponding, right? That's a biconditional, which means if they're parallel, then corresponding are congruent. But you also know in the converse that if you can show me that corresponding angles are congruent, then that proves that the lines are parallel. And again, if they're not parallel, which obviously they're not now, correspondings are not going to be congruent, and all the other things are true as well. Okay, hopefully this got you playing around with GeoGebra a little bit. We'll certainly use it to do transformations and polygons, and we'll look at circles and stuff. And again, this might not even have been the first time I reference it in class, but this is something you can get to on the web, or you can even download the app on your iPad.